Ronaldo, Ronaldo! It's one of the great Old Trafford comebacks. Astonishing!
Chelsea 3, Manchester United 1. We've got a bunch of small players and a small manager at Manchester United. That when there's a bit of pressure on them, when the rubber meets the road and it's time for them to deliver, they fail. They proved it last season to us, where we were in a shout for top 4, where we could have got top 4 and they failed. They dropped the ball. This season, countless times, Chelsea and Leicester have dropped points and allowed us to claw back on them, and we failed. Just the past week, Chelsea and Leicester dropped points and we could have went third and United failed. Now today, semi-final of the FA Cup, we were 90 minutes away from being in the final, from lifting up maybe silverware in the final. We go and we produced our worst performance of the whole season. This was by far our worst performance of the whole season. No enthusiasm, no passion, no drive, no system, no style of play, nothing on that field, nothing. No player busted their guts on that field. No player produced even one sweat. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That was one of our worst performances of the season. And you wait for a semi-final to produce that. A bunch of small players and a small manager cannot deliver when it's time for them to deliver. Cannot. They're always choking. Always. And I'm gonna mention three people from our squad in this video. Highlight 3 people. Number 1, David De Gea. That guy should not be at Manchester United, period. I like Dave, and no doubt Dave will go down as one of Manchester United's legends for what he has done for us. He's been a top class keeper. But for the past 2 years, David De Gea has lost it. He has lost it. He has shown us that he's not the same David De Gea. Yet what we do? We keep him in the squad. Last season, he was one of the prime reasons why we did not make top 4. When we were there for making top 4, David De Gea was producing howlers, letting in goals that no keeper in the league would let in. David De Gea was doing that. This season, countless times David De Gea has dropped points for us, making big errors, big mistakes. In a semi-final, he waits in a semi-final to produce that again. Why is that guy at Manchester United? David De Gea should not be at Manchester United. And don't get me wrong, as I said, he will go down as a legend. And I like David De Gea. I genuinely like him. Because in his prime, which was a couple years ago, David De Gea was the best keeper in the world. Right now, he's not. David De Gea needs to step away from Manchester United. We need to go and get Dean Henderson. He is our player. Cancel that loan he got with Sheffield, bring Dean Henderson, and let's start with Dean Henderson in the next season. David De Gea should not be there. Number 2, Harry Maguire. How? 80 million defender scoring own goals in a semi-final. The biggest game of his career. In a semi-final, he's scoring own goals. 80 million. No one, I've never heard no pundits, no ex-player of ours criticize Harry Maguire. Never. I've never heard them bring up his 80 million price tag. Yet when we signed Paul Pogba for 89 million, 9 more million than Harry Maguire, and Paul Pogba's a midfielder. 9 more million, we signed Paul Pogba 89 million. The only thing in the pundits' mouths was 89 million. This is not an 89 million player. How can Manchester United spend 89 million? Look what he's doing on the pitch. He's an 89 million player. The only thing coming out their mouth. But Harry Maguire, not once have I heard a pundit speak about his price tag. Not once. And he's the most expensive defender. He's more than Virgil van Dijk. No one's talking about him. No one. And this whole season, I've never seen not one top-class performance from Harry Maguire. Not one performance that I can say, you know what, Harry Maguire got world-class potential. Or that was a world-class performance from Harry Maguire. Not one performance. In a semi-final, he's scoring her own goal. 89 million. Our club captain. Just the other week against Southampton, I think it was. Getting nutmegged in his own box. Nutmegged in his own box, and that's our captain, and that's an 80 million defender. How can that guy captain Manchester United? He's done nothing in his career. Harry Maguire is 26 or 27, one of the two. 26 I think he is, let's be safe. He's done nothing in his career and he's 26, 27. Absolutely nothing. Won nothing. Done nothing in his career. And he's captaining Manchester United. Are we serious? We've got a World Cup winner there in the midfield. A guy that has won numerous titles in Italy under Juventus. A guy that made it into the Champions League final. He made it to the Champions League Team of the Year, Europa League Team of the Year, World Cup Team of the Year. This is the guy that you're overlooking for captain, but you're making Harry Maguire, who's done nothing in his career. Absolutely nothing. First season at the club, you're making him captain. Club captain getting nutmegged in his own box. Club captain scoring her own goal in a semi-final. Yeah? What captain are you? How are you leading from the front? How are you leading? You're leading a young group of boys. You're showing them how to get nutmegged in your own box. You're showing them in a semi-final, score own goal. Yeah? And you are a club captain. That's a joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Then you got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar, a small manager. Yeah? 1.5 years at the job, there's still no style of play. 1.5 years at the job. Still no style of play. Frank Lampard came after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Frank Lampard got a style of play. Brendan Rodgers came after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Brendan Rodgers got a style of play. Mikel Arteta came right now recently. You can see what he's doing with Arsenal. You can see how they press. You can see how they pass. It is not perfect. It is nowhere near perfect. But you can see the foundation that is laying. Antonio Conte, do me a favor. Go and watch Inter Milan play football. Antonio Conte, first season at Inter Milan, came after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Go and see the football Inter Milan are playing. Took our rejects, players that we said weren't good enough at Manchester United. He's making wonders work with players that we said weren't good enough. Antonio Conte. Ole Gunnar, 1.5 years in the job, no style of play. 1.5 years making big mistakes in a semi-final. How do you change a winning team? In a semi-final, you decide this is the perfect time for me to change a winning team. Everybody knows if the team is winning, you do not change them. Everybody knows, as the saying goes, you do not change what is not broken. If it's not broken, don't change it. Ole Gunnar decides to change a winning team in a semi-final of the FA Cup. In a semi-final. How naive can Ole be? Thinking that we beat Frank Lampard 3 times this season. You think you can beat him for the 4th time using the same tactics you used? How naive do you think? How naive can you be to think that Frank Lampard did not learn from those 3 times? How naive do you think you can beat him with the same tactic? The same counter-attack tactic? The same setting up with Daniel James? Huh? You are playing counter-attack. Ole Gunnar set out to play counter-attack this game. You play counter-attack. The main thing about counter-attack is there's a fast build-up. You need to switch from defense to attack in one go. The only player we have in our whole team that can switch the game with one pass from defense to attack is Paul Pogba, and Ole benches Paul Pogba. Can you remember when we versed Chelsea at the first game of the season? Can you remember that assist that Paul Pogba gave Marcus Rashford that killed the game? I think it made it 3-0 or 4-0. One of the two. He gave, Paul Pogba picked up the ball in his own half. Before the halfway line, in his own half. Played a through ball over to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, one-on-one with keeper, put it in the net. The only player in our whole team that can make that pass, that can switch with one pass from defense to attack, Paul Pogba. Ole Gunnar benches that guy. Benching our biggest player. In semi-finals, in knockout stage football, you need your biggest players to play. Our biggest player at the club, the player that has won the biggest trophies, the player that is respected in the whole world. That's the player you put on the bench. That's the guy you put on the bench. And you start in Daniel James. Yeah? You're starting all these other small players. But that's the player, I'm sorry. In a semi-final, in the biggest games, Paul Pogba needs to be the first name on that team sheet. I'm sorry. He's your biggest player. He has played under the biggest pressure. He knows what it's like. He knows what it's like, and that's the player you put. Yeah? You set out, Ole Gunnar sets out for counter-attack football. Yes, I saw the team playing out from the back. I saw not even playing out from the back, sorry. I saw the team building up from the back. Counter-attacking football. You need to go as quick as you can from defense to attack. I saw Harry Maguire, Lindelof, Eric Bailly passing the ball amongst themselves, and you are playing counter-attack football. How is that? How is that I saw Bruno Fernandes playing as a number 9 today? First off, I saw Marcus Rashford on the left, Daniel James on the right, and I saw Bruno Fernandes playing as a number 9. First off, how can that be? What formation? What is your strategy? What is your proper system that you're making a number 10 play number 9? And that's not the first time. These past couple of games, you've seen Bruno Fernandes playing number 9 alongside Martial. Do you know what that tells me? Freestyle football. It tells me the players can do what they want on the pitch, especially Bruno. I've never seen a free roll that Bruno has. I've never seen that freedom. I'm sorry, I've never in all my years, my limited years of watching football and my limited knowledge that I have about the game, I've never seen someone with the amount of freedom Bruno Fernandes has. That man can go and play up along there with Anthony Martial as a second striker. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. 1 minute he's on the left wing, 1 minute he's playing number 6 and running back, the next minute he's playing number 10, and the next minute he's playing number 9. I've never seen that freedom. I've never seen that. Why? Because it's freestyle football. Anyone can do what they want. There's no system, there's no style of play. 1.5 years at the job. 1.5 years at the job, you make mistakes in semi-finals. Like that. Mistakes that us as fans wouldn't even make. We know the team is winning. Keep the same formation, keep the same personnel. Unless they're injured and unless they're fatigued, do not change them. Paul Pogba was not fatigued. Anthony Martial was not fatigued. Why didn't they start? Why did you start Daniel James? That boy is not good enough even to be at Manchester United, period. He got no first touch. He can't dribble. He can't beat a player. He can't shoot. He can't pass. What is he doing at Manchester United? The only thing he can do is run. And right now, he can't even run. Because the people have found him out. The people have found him out. When he first came to the league, no one knew what he was about. And then they begin to see, you know what, Daniel James wants Cross to run. Don't give him Cross. But that's the player you start in a semi-final. The commentators even said about Oli. The commentators were digging at Oli the whole game. They even said at the end of the game, they said, I wonder if this game was won and lost 30 minutes before kickoff time when the team sheets came out. 100% agree with them. That's when the game was lost for Manchester United. When the team sheets came out and we switched our formation, a winning formation, we went to a back 3 or back 5, whatever you want to call it. That was when we lost the game. And one thing you must notice, guys, you can say I'm being negative. You can say, oh, this guy is only out. You can make all those things, but one thing you cannot deny what I'm saying. You cannot deny what I'm saying. And if you think you can, head over to the comments and let's see. Let's see and put some facts before me that can show me that Oli knows what he's doing. Because, take a note, guys. All the managers, all the top managers, all the managers that know what they're doing, when the whistle blows for kickoff, 0 minutes of the game, it's kickoff first half. You see Pep Guardiola at his touchline. You see Frank Lampard at his touchline. You see Jurgen Klopp at his touchline. You see Mikel Arteta at his touchline. Yesterday, Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola at their touchline for 90 minutes of the game. You saw them. Ole Gunnar is sitting on the stands with his legs crossed. While our boys are out there under the cosh, our boys are out there getting beaten. Ole Gunnar sitting in the stands, watching the game from a monitor with his legs crossed. Why aren't you on the touchline? Why aren't you giving instructions to the boys? They're drowning out there. Why? Because he genuinely doesn't know what he's looking at. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He doesn't know what to say to the boys. When there's a drinks break, You saw the game yesterday, the semi-final yesterday with Arsenal and Manchester City. And this has happened with every other manager as well. When there's a drinks break, every manager takes that opportunity to talk to their team. Every manager is down there. The team makes a circle, they drink their water, the manager's in the middle of the circle, giving direction, giving instruction to the whole team. When there's a drinks break for Manchester United, Ole Gunnar is talking to Michael Carrick. The boys are drinking and talking to themselves. They're not even standing in a circle, they're amongst themselves. Ole Gunnar is talking to Michael Carrick. If he's not talking to Michael Carrick, he's talking to individual players, one at a time, maximum 2 players he addresses, they go back and outplay. Why doesn't he talk to the whole group? It's not like we're winning 5-0. Because I saw Pep Guardiola in the Premier League recently. His team were winning 3-0. I still saw Pep Guardiola by the touchline, screaming instructions. Even the commentator said, look at Pep Guardiola. Look at him, he's like a madman. 3-0 they're winning, yet he still sees room for perfection, room for improvement. Oli, we are drawing. There is 0-0 in the game. Or we are losing. And Ollie's sitting in the stands. The only minute he came down was when we were 2-0 down. He came on his touchline. What can you tell the team when the team is 2-0 down? Why? Because he genuinely doesn't know what he's doing. Genuinely doesn't know what he's doing. And it's high time, us as fans, we stop criticizing the other fans when we are hitting out against Oli. When we are bringing the facts before you and showing you the limitations of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's high time that you don't criticize us, because we are only showing you what he is showing us. We are not making up these things. We are not saying this guy is winning titles and he's still poor. No, we are saying the limitations of this manager that we do have. He's done absolutely nothing in football. He's coached Cardiff. He's coached Mulder. He coached Cardiff and he relegated Cardiff. And we are bringing these things before you to say, look here guys, this is what's happening at Manchester United. But you want to come out and criticize us. Like we are losing. Like we are sitting up in a semi-final. We are changing formations. We are changing systems. It's high time we stick together as fans. And we see Manchester United for what we truly are. It's 7 years now that us as fans have been behind this team. 7 years. I'm sorry guys. A rebuild does not take 7 years. I am sorry. You look at a team like Real Madrid. They are under rebuild. They lost their greatest ever player, Cristiano Ronaldo. They are under rebuild, yet they are still winning La Liga trophies. Huh? They are still winning La Liga trophies and they are still in Champions League knockout rounds. And they're rebuilding. They are rebuilding. We are 7 years rebuilding and we are not asking for a Premier League title. We understand the limitations of Manchester United. We understand that we are run by businessmen and not footballers. We understand that our coach, our manager is inexperienced at the highest level. He is super inexperienced. He doesn't know what he's doing. We understand that. All we're asking for is some dignity. All we're asking for is some fight. All we're asking for today is take us to the final. We are versing Chelsea. We are not versing Bayern Munich. We are not versing PSG. We are not versing Juventus. We are not versing Real Madrid. We are versing Chelsea. A team that on form we are better than them. A team that we got better players than them. A better 11 than them. And we should have a better manager, but we do not. And we are asking you to give a proper account for yourself against Chelsea. And you could not do that. Is that too much for us as fans who have stuck along the club for 7 years to ask? Huh? You saw today, the system was wrong. The system, the formation, everything was wrong. We couldn't do nothing. The boys couldn't even pass the ball today. Huh? The boys couldn't even pass the ball. Chelsea, I saw Chelsea come out with a style of play. I saw them come out with a system. I saw them knowing exactly what they're supposed to do. I saw them pressing as a group. We don't know how to press, guys. For whichever fan, whichever pundit says that United press, I'm sorry, we don't press, guys. You want to look at how pressing is done. Go look at Southampton when they drew against us a couple previous games ago. That's how you press. Look at Chelsea, how they pressed us. That's how you press. You press collectively. You press collectively. Every player needs to know what they're doing. United don't press like that. United press where Marcus Rashford will run by himself or Marshall will run by himself and the whole bunch of players stand still and look at them what they're doing. That's not pressing. Why? Because Manchester United is not being coached. It's high time we see we are not being coached, guys. That today what we saw. There's no explanation for what we saw. One thing to play the wrong formation, but it's another thing for the guys not to turn up at all, not to be able to pass, not be able to create. Nothing. I'm sorry, I'm fuming. But it's high time I said this, because, and going forward, even if we are winning, I'm going to give you both sides of the game, because I've seen this coming. I see, even the past games that we've been winning, we have not been winning well. But I said, you know what, I don't want the people to come to my channel and watch my videos and say, no, that guy's negative, that Manchester United is winning and he's still bringing out the faults. But from now on, I'm going to give you a balanced view. I'm going to show you the right things we're doing, and I'm going to show you the wrong things we're doing, even if we win, because I'm going to prepare you for times like this. I'm going to prepare you to say, you know what, guys, going down the line, the next few games, we might drop points because we are doing X and Y wrong. We got no style of play. We don't know what we're doing. And it's high time we look at that. And I'm fuming because now we knocked out of a cup. And I just hope we're going to beat West Ham. And I think we will beat West Ham, and I'm sure we will get top 4, but we could have got a cup. But it's all down to Oli. 100% the blame lies at Oli. 100%. And if I had to give Oli a rating, I'll give him a 3 today. I give him a 3. He sets up the team wrong. He costed us that game. Yes, David De Gea made mistakes. Yes, he made mistakes, and he shouldn't make mistakes. And that's why I said David De Gea needs not to be playing for Manchester United again. But Ole Gunnar sets out the team, and Ole Gunnar is persisting in picking David De Gea. That's my match review, guys. Fuming match review. Fuming. I'll see you all for the West Ham game. Hopefully we get the W. Hopefully we play a bit better. Hopefully we pick our best players. I'll see you. Cheers.